Alright, let's try this again. I had a little trouble the first time, so yeah, bear with me and we'll make it through here. This is another TwoSun. It's TwoSun Tuesday, obviously, as you can see from it. And from what you've also seen on the little title of this video, is this is the TS124-UP, or 124-G10-UP. The original version of this, or at least one of the original versions, was titanium handles and kind of engraving of a naked lady on there. Mostly kind of a callback to things from like the late 60s through like maybe the early 80s, some of that kitschy sort of stuff. But this one, obviously, no naked ladies on it. Just black and white G10. That's done in some pretty attractive and pretty intricate little kind of swirls and everything going on there. And if I get real close, yep, you can see this guy has some micro texture going on here. That's, let's see. Yeah, you can kind of hear that. Does actually give you a pretty good amount of grip. It probably won't hold up if your hands are wet or the handle gets a little bit wet. But, as for drying stuff right there, does give you a lot more grip than just the standard polished G10 sort of thing kind of going on there. I like that quite a bit. So yeah, we got their kind of newer school folded over pocket clip. Still some rounded screws on there. That's pretty much the case on all of them that are like this. Their other options these days are titanium milled that are bespoke specifically to them. So there you go. And yeah, we just got a little flipper tab here. And we got some decent jumping going on there. And kerblam. This guy has quite the nice detent setup for it. Like it's pretty hard to attempt to fail it. And because it only has this one deployment method, you don't really need to worry about trying to accommodate for multiples. Opening up the blade, yeah, we can see we have a fuller here, but as you can see, it's pretty much encapsulated when the knife is closed. So you can't really use that as a deployment method. So there you go. Helps with blade balance and all that sort of stuff. Getting the balance basically right around the bottom of the index finger there, which works out quite well. We do have a nice sharpening choil. I always appreciate those, so you don't get wonky sharpening going on down here. It is, that kind of reverse Tonto-ish, sheep's footy kind of blade profile there. Basically a slight arc across the whole blade, which works out quite well for doing a lot of cuts. I like that quite a bit. And yep, we can see we got basic steel liners there with a little G10 backspacer. You can notice we got a little bump right here. Now, it does kind of work as a bit for your finger to kind of hit instead of sliding much further down the handle than maybe you first tried. But the original reason why it was there was it was part of one of the lady's breasts. So there you go. There's that. You got plenty of liner lock clearance, so no problems there. Trying to close this guy up. You don't have anything kind of scalloped out of the liner, but it's decently rolled off and everything. So it's very functional. Doesn't it's not uncomfortable or anything while you're doing that. So that's pretty great. I like that. And I also like that these liners are flush. They're not shadow boxed where the liners stick up a little bit more than the handle. It's done a lot of times for kind of aesthetic reasons, but I much prefer having a larger pad for especially my thumb, but also kind of my forefinger to actually rest on. And when you have those raised liners, then in this case, you're basically cutting down the width of where the knife is comfortable for you in half, because you just have between liner and liner instead of all that sort of stuff. I do see quite a few designers do some shadow box stuff. Heck, even Wong's done it a few times. And, it's kind of a case by case basis. Some of them are uncomfortable, some of them are a little bit more reasonable. But, yeah, this one is not. It's just flush, which is pretty fantastic. If I hadn't mentioned it before, this is in 14C28N steel, which it is. However, the eBay listings for these guys, I picked up one of the first few. Obviously not the first one, because, man, some of the adherent collectors really don't really care how much price something goes for. But, yeah, I got a hold of this guy for a very, very decent price. But it was one of the first ones, and they do list this as having 12C27 instead of 14C28N. And that has kind of goes back to the fact that their original versions of these were in 12C27, and they just didn't update the eBay listing for it or whatever. But, I mean, if you are looking at one of these later on, they are in 14C28N. So that is good, because I really do appreciate 14C28N more than 12C27. You can see basically just a little bit of that detent ball hole kind of out there, but for the most part it's closed up. So yeah, you don't really have all that much issue worrying about things getting in there, and because you don't have a blade pin that's internal to the blade, it goes between the liners there, that you don't have extra opening on the top. So it does a pretty good job as far as bearings go for working in more dusty environs and all that sort of good stuff. So I'll go ahead and take a look on the inside of them. I should say, yeah, we do have some contouring around all these different areas here for the finger grooves. So it's not just straight slabs of G10. They have contoured it a little bit, and yeah, it's rounded around the top there. All right, so yeah, we'll go ahead and take this open and kind of show you around on the inside of it. So this is where I cut last time, and it's because this pivot does have or doesn't have a D-shaped pivot on it, and it was really giving me troubles after I had applied some thread locker of my own several months back. So yeah, I was just spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning, and tape and stuff like that just wasn't working. I did get it loose now, so I can do that. I essentially used a piece of Gorilla tape, which isn't masking tape. It's actually like, permanent bonding, foam tape kind of stuff. But that gave me the adhesive quality I needed for the back end here. I kind of wish that I could get a hold of a three-prong kind of thing that could get in there, so I wouldn't have those problems later on. Probably like what they used to assemble them in the first place. But yeah. And let's see. For simplicity's sake, I'll go ahead and remove the pocket clip. These clips do have dome screws on them. They always do. That's kind of their design, which is a little interesting to me, because also on their designs for all of these are, yeah, those are flat. So they could probably work just a little bit better in there, but I don't know. That's just me complaining because I can, basically. So yeah, there we go. There's the other side of the G10. It goes all the way through, obviously. It's not just kind of a little veneer on the top of it. Yeah, you can see it also has those nice stripes going through the top there. And we can see we got decent skeletonization going on the liner there. And then, yeah, we got the blade with those KVT ceramic bearings in the nylon cages there. There's the blade pin going on there. And we got the G10 back spacer there. Now we have that one screw back there, but we also have a pin further up to kind of keep it a little bit more stable, and does a pretty darn good job. And this side is even more skeletonized than the other one. So yeah, it does keep the weight down a little bit on there. which, almost everybody appreciates. So yeah, there's not a whole lot more I really have to show. I guess, yep, there's a ceramic bearing in the detent as well, as you would probably assume. And as I say on basically all of these, because it's true, we use, or not we, TwoSun uses T8 hardware basically all the way around. Pocket clip, pivots, the whole 9 yards. So that makes it pretty fantastic for, disassembly and assembly. You don't have to worry about weird, crazy sort of things going on and stripping screws and all that sort of stuff. Something I should mention, I suppose, is the pocket clip isn't really reversible. I suppose it would be easy enough for them to have actually done that, but yeah, a lot of designers really don't, because they don't like how it kind of disrupts what the other side looks like, which I can kind of understand. And it works out well for this one. What does confuse me is when they won't make it go to the other side, but they'll still slam a hole through there for the very few people who use lanyards. And that also just kind of disrupts the look of it. But yeah, whatever. To each their own. Yep, that is very much no play going on there. Yep, super easy to get back together. All right. Let's see. So this is not exactly a small knife. Let's see. We got, yeah, it's basically, I'd say 3.7. It looks like it's 3.75, but I have this little area here. So I'd call that basically 3.7 inch. So, yeah, for those of you who live in kind of blade limited areas, there's certainly that. And yeah, certainly do check your local laws for that. I know a lot of places in California have rules about anything over, and it varies by county there, but they do have rules that kind of vary between like 3 1/8 and 3.5 inch kind of things. But from what my understanding was while I was there and working and everything, was that was for fully concealable. However, if you have a visible pocket clip on it, and this was obviously, at least when I was there, before the whole advent of super deep carry and all that sort of stuff, it wasn't considered concealed as long as the pocket clip was shown. At that point, you can carry basically whatever size that you want. Now that does obviously change in different areas, like New York, and New York definitely has a lot more strict laws than a lot of the country. And that probably just has to do with, the density of population and all that sort of stuff, which I can kind of understand. But yeah. So anyway, just my 2 cents on check your local laws and make sure what they actually are and what they want to restrict you. Not just size, but exactly why. So, all right. So I'll go ahead and get a little bit of weight going on here. Oh, I'm already on ounces. Nice. So yeah, this is basically 4.35 ounces for 3.7 inch blade, so it doesn't quite pass that ounce an inch mark. It's a little bit heavier than that, but not by much. And you do get a lot of knife going on here for, not a super heavy amount. And for those of you who like grams, we'll just go ahead and swap over there. Just shy of 123.5 grams. So, cool. Next thing that I usually like to look at is basically the blade stock thickness. And on this one, looks like we're basically at, yeah, but it would probably read as 3.8, which seems to be about average for a lot of TwoSuns. It's not incredibly thick. Just looking straight down from the top, you can see that it does have a little bit of a grind going on the top. I'm just losing my mind exactly. A swedge, that would be the word I'm looking for. Um, so yeah, just looking down from the top, it does actually look a little bit thinner than it is basically at the thickest of it, which you could probably also measure right here. There you go. It's very, very high flat grind. Comes down to quite a nice slicey thickness behind the edge. You know, very, very not brittle, but very, very slicey. Indeed. This guy works quite well for, you know, breaking down boxes or whatever else you might want to do. It is a little bit large if that's all you're going to be doing with it, but, you know, some people just like larger knives. I tend to prefer them because they fit my hands. That being said, I think for a folding knife, anything over probably like 4.5 inches starts to get a little unruly for me, I guess. For a fixed blade, you know, I can easily deal with a little bit larger. You know, somewhere around between 5 and 6 inches is probably my preference for a lot of fixed blades. But, you know, for folders, a little bit less is better. Let's see. Let's go for a little thickness here. Yeah, 0.627, somewhere right around there. So, yeah, 0.62 of an inch. So a little over half an inch, which a little bit of that is just due to the contouring there and whatnot. It's a little bit different than the thickness on a PM2 or a Spyderco Paramilitary 2, because those are very, very flat scales. And because of that, they are a little bit thinner. Speaking of, I suppose I can actually pull that out and do a little bit of comparison to it. So yeah, obviously you can tell that the PM2 does not have a 3.7-inch blade on it. The military might, but for whatever reason, I don't think Spyderco will ever make that in a compression lock. They'll keep the liner forever. Kind of sad because I would love it, but I'm actually kind of curious on if it does come down to possibly the compression lock having some faults or something like that with a very, very long blade. But yeah, you can see it's basically got right around the same length, including the half choil or whatever on the Spyderco Manix 2 XL. So yeah, it's not a small knife by any stretch of the imagination, but it does have a thinner blade, so it's a little bit easier to kind of stab in and get down on something if that's the way that you're wanting to do a cut. Like I said, this isn't exactly my absolute favorite Wong design ever, but I'm certainly happy to have it. I think it has a very, very attractive handle, and I really like the micromilling texture that they have on the G10. It's something you kind of see a little bit more on their titanium milled knives, which makes sense because that's how they kind of have to do a lot of that. But to see it here on G10, it's fantastic, and I wish they would put out some more knives that actually do that. It's quite nice. It's a very good grippy alternative to using the peel ply, like you would get from most Spyderco models or Emerson, where they're much more aggressive. So, alright, that's basically my thoughts and opinions and everything on the TS124-G10-UP. That's another fine Wong design. And yeah, so as always, appreciate y'all for watching, and have yourself a wonderful rest of your day, yo.